welcome back to my channel. I am doing a special vlog today because it is November 11/11/11, and I wanted to just vlog what I'm gonna do today and just like my process. I was able, and I am fortunate enough to request the whole day off. I usually work Friday mornings at Starbucks, but about last week, I just know that 11/11 is such a potent number. It's such a spiritual number because I would always see that when I was in college. It's something that is very near and dear to my heart because that number and seeing that number frequently on the clock kind of got the ball rolling in terms of my beliefs and also my mindset and just how my life unfolded from when I started seeing that number. So I am going to just go out today. I'm dressed in my gym clothes. I'm actually wearing jeans right now, but I have my gym shorts under. I'm gonna go get tacos. Right now it's about 1 p.m. and I just took the opportunity to lay in bed and just consume social media, even though that's not like the most productive thing to do. I found a lot of comfort and a lot of happiness from it because obviously when you grow older, you don't have the same experiences or moments in time compared to when you're younger. And I remember growing up, I would always just lay in bed and I would consume too much social media, and then I learned the ins and outs or the pros and cons of consuming too much social media. Sleeping in back when I was like in college or high school, that was definitely something that didn't benefit me. So obviously nowadays I get up early, I go to the gym, I go to work, and I'm productive. But the fact that I have a day off, I see it as an opportunity to kind of just cherish the moment and just literally just be lazy. Like having that moment of rest for your mind to just do whatever it wants to do is also an act of creative freedom. I don't know if anyone else sees it that way, but for me, I also haven't been consuming a lot of TikTok, and so when I was just scrolling on TikTok and Instagram, I just like found a lot of cool stuff that I'm like, wow, there's so much out there in the world, and I'm happy that I have this opportunity to scroll through it in a way that is more beneficial than harmful. Obviously, when I come home from work and I'm scrolling through TikTok mindlessly, that's a little different, but this time around, I'm like awake and I'm just like chilling and just having a good time. So now that I kind of got my reset time out of the way and just having the opportunity to just not think of anything else, I am now ready to go out and just find things that make me happy because I do want to be in a process of manifesting tonight. So enable for me to manifest properly, I want to put myself in a high frequency and I want to like go about the day as if I am my highest self. It's funny because about 3 weeks ago, I told myself like, oh, I need to request 11/11 off. No reason, I just had the urge to do it. And then I started seeing more posts about like how it's going to be a powerful time to manifest. And I'm like, this is perfect because if I've been needing a day off to just do what I want to do, like how I used to back in the summer, this is just my chance to finally just settle down and manifest what I want for 2023, for the upcoming year. And also I am entering a new chapter in my life, which I am so grateful for. I'm gonna become a behavioral therapist for children who have autism or any mental disorders or setbacks, and I basically be working with kids and their families, and it's going to be like a part-time job, so I'm still going to be working Starbucks and this job, but obviously getting this job is a huge stepping stone for me because I graduated 2 years ago with the bachelor's in psychology, and I did not know what I wanted to do for my career. So the past 2 years was a process of me figuring out who I am, who I want to become, and at first I thought I wanted to be a freelance graphic designer, but over time I came to realize that I will have to slowly but surely build up my skills for this type of job. And right now I just need the financial stability, and for me to have that financial stability I have to work a 9 to 5. And I think it's just interesting the way things turned around for me because I was so set on not having a 9 to 5, and obviously social media and also just during the pandemic, a lot of remote jobs were happening, and the collective consciousness was just going through a huge shift, a huge change, and a lot of people realized that they don't want to work 9 to 5s because of the hours that they're giving them and just like the lack of pay and benefits. So I'm at a point now where I feel like things have adjusted from that time period of like the pandemic and everyone realizing that they're not happy with where they're at. And now that since the world is almost technically back to normal, obviously the world has changed dramatically and COVID is still a thing. But especially right now, life and the way society is working is technically back to normal. And so this opportunity for me to become a behavioral therapist was an interesting story because I, in October, was just like desperate. Not desperate, but like I just deeply, deeply wanted a job that I'd be happy at, a good work environment, because Starbucks and its management hasn't been working out for me, and I just don't see myself working at Starbucks. So I was journaling and meditating and using words of affirmation constantly to just stay positive that something was going to come my way. And I found something, and it technically kind of fell into my lap because I opened Instagram one day, and then I have a high school friend whose little sister I follow, and she posted on her story that, hey, my job is looking for a behavioral therapist, no experience needed, message me if you are interested. And I'm like, are you serious? I was like really shook just because a lot of psychology jobs need experience or a master's degree of some sort, and I just did not have that. So the fact that this came my way was like, hey, like, I think it's time for you, like the universe is trying to tell me like it's time to use your degree to work. And it was just perfect because the company itself also, I love everything that I read on their website. All the values that they had really aligned to me. And once I mentioned to a lot of my friends and coworkers that I got it, a lot of them said that, oh, I know a person that works there. My brother works there. And they all say good things about it, that they love working there. And I'm like, this is perfect because I do not want to put myself in a job that I'm going to be miserable in just to make a means of living. So the fact that I can make a means of living while also doing something that I feel like I'm going to grow from and something that I feel like is going to help me in the long run with working with children and just working my way up to like a full-time position. It was honestly divine timing and just God and the universe showing me like, here you go, it's finally time. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm just really excited. I was so nervous the week when they were trying to get back to me because they said they were going to get back to me on a Monday or Tuesday, but they ended up getting back to me like on a Friday. And so they told me that they're going to call me back in 10 days to give me more information, but I'd be starting on December 7th, which is like the second week of December. And it's perfect because this November, I am turning 24 on November 24, and it's going to be like my golden year / my Kobe year at the same time. And I just wanted to spend my November focusing on catching up with the friends I love before I get into my new job, because I'd be working both jobs in December, and also just really sitting down with myself and like really looking back at my achievement. Like I want to spend today like feeling really grateful with how far I've come, and I just really want to be introspective and dive deep and really give myself the deep love that I deserve. I've been talking for like 10 minutes, but I just had to start this video off like this and just share with where I am in life right now, because deep down I know, looking back at this vlog, and I just don't know where I'm gonna be in a year from now. It's just gonna be really interesting. So yes, that is basically where I'm at. So I'm gonna head out and I'm either gonna go to the gym first or get food, but once I go out and get some fresh air, I will decide what to do. Also, I needed to get a new lip balm or a sleeping mask because the one that I have from Laneige, I don't want to dip my finger in it and it's just like so bulky and big. So I went to Sephora and they have like these lip sleeping masks for only $5 to $7. This one was just $5, but it's gingerbread and vanilla, and you barely smell it, but oh my gosh, it makes my lips feel so smooth and soft, and I just hate like my crusty lips at the end of the day, so I'm trying to maintain it with this. But yeah, and also it's cold, so you gotta keep her moisturized, right? So okay, I will update you guys soon. So I'm at the park. I just finished eating some bomb vegan tacos and I am ready to smoke. Usually I would smoke before I eat, but I think I'm gonna change it up today just because I want to see how it's gonna affect me. And I'm just kind of like going with the flow with everything today. When I was at the vegan taco spot, there was just such good vibes. Like, I don't know if it was just the music, I don't know if it's just because it's a vegan restaurant, but I also think that the people coming in were just coming in with such great energy. And I had like a funny interaction. Not funny interaction, I was in the midst of a funny interaction at the dispensary. And I don't know, today has just been like proving itself to be good, and I'm like happy to go along. This internal glow that just makes me feel like these are the days that I look forward to living, you know? So I will update you guys when I'm a little more high. I'm back from my smoke sesh. I feel good, I feel talkative, so here I am. And I've just been having very sporadic moments. And you know what I came to realize? I came to realize that whenever I vlog, I have this like self-sabotage where I don't think it's exactly how other people do it. And that's the thing with social media. On social media, you see people who have certain things, but then you think, oh my god, it has to look like that. But what that thought process is actually, like if you're to filter it out, it's you want a specific kind of characteristic or experience from someone that you follow or see online. Whether it's the way they carry themselves, whether it's the way they present themselves or speak. I usually see a lot of YouTubers who have very good speaking, and for some reason, I have this really deep-rooted insecurity that I'm not a good speaker. But I think something is just holding me back from really just like letting everything out loosely without having to think about what other people think. And most of the time when I'm high, I am able to articulate these thoughts. And it's okay, I'm gonna go into, I guess, like my relationship with weed and how it's really transformed. Because after college, well, I started smoking when I was in college, and then I started just picking it up more, especially after when I was just working all the time. It was a way for me to wind down from such a busy day of work, and it was definitely something I used for creativity and to feel like I'm feeling something besides work. And so I'm now at a point in my life where I feel like I'm really stepping into adulthood and also just becoming like a high value woman who can basically provide for herself. And it's kind of crazy because when I was younger, I was very sheltered in a sense of I am very lucky to have both of my parents. They were very protective of me. Obviously, I've had my situations and emotional traumas from my dad. And I'm not painting my dad as a bad guy, but he is someone who has shaped a lot of deep-rooted fears and insecurities of me. Not that he wanted to, but because just the way my brain is perceiving things, this is like my story arc. My story arc is that there's two people in my life that I feel the most criticism from, and I don't know if it may be a part of like a past life thing, and I want to look into that. But every time my boyfriend or my dad says something, I always feel I have to self-criticize myself, and I end up self-sabotaging just my self-esteem and who I am as a person because I think that I'm wrong. And I think I deeply honor these two men in my life, so when they say stuff, it's like it's a part of me is trying to keep myself in check. And that's why I feel like my personality has been reserved for most of my life, because all my life I always had this deep-rooted insecurity that I was shy and everything. But I feel like the more I exercise my individuality and my own personality and who I really want to become, I kind of stray away from that insecurity. But at the same time, a lot of women, I feel like, do not take the time to take accountability that they could be doing things without having to focus on the man of like their insecurities. Like, we can look at ourselves as whole, as individual, the divine feminine, for us to even just understand that we are so powerful, and with the way we have been incarnated into this life, into this world itself, our fears and our projections are coming from our own heads. So going back to the topic of me filming and talking and just like being able to say what I want to say, I always seem that my mind is constantly projecting outward into this external reality. My mind is constantly thinking, like social media, that I'm constantly perceiving people, and that the way you perceive yourself is obviously how you are. But there are just some things about myself that if there was no audience, if there was no one watching me, I would literally just be talking like this. But I only have access to this type of like personality when I'm high. And so going back to my topic of weed, I am entering this adulthood where I really have to focus on setting a foundation so I can reap the benefits later. I'm experiencing a life that I feel constantly evolving in. And whenever I indulge, or when I allow myself to smoke weed, and obviously, so my body in the past month has been rejecting weed. Before I'm entering this new chapter in my life, I just know that weed is gonna be something I'm gonna look forward to, like a treat, like getting ice cream here and there, you know? And I just don't want people to think that weed is just this one-way thing, that you take it and you're high and that's it, and you just are lazy. Like, obviously there's side effects to it, and obviously the thing that you're extracting from it is the sense of peace and comfort. But when it comes to it intellectually deep down, we can use it to really evolve ourselves consciously. And if we can just allow ourselves to use it in a way that will make us feel like these experiences, feeling this way around my friends, by myself, while I'm making art, it creates like this magical effect for you to just jump into a direction that you are dreaming and hoping and wanting for. It's jumping you into your highest timeline, your highest self. Like, I'm trying to basically say that weed can really, really help you achieve your highest self. And that's why it's something you see, like this concept in itself, this concept has been shown on YouTube, on social media. And therefore, if we can like turn it over and relate it back to ourselves, we can just use it as a way to literally be our highest selves. Does that make sense? You know what? I think I'm just gonna post this as like a blooper vlog video. Honestly, I don't give a fuck what I post, never mind. I really don't give a fuck. If I feel happy and comfortable talking about this type of stuff with myself to the camera that will eventually upload this memory into the computer, I don't give a fuck. It doesn't matter, because I'm gonna die anyways. Okay, I'm just like hyping myself up. Okay, so I'm gonna go to Barnes & Noble because I really want to read Women Who Run with the Wolves. I have it here in my bag. Oh my gosh, look at my bag. I got it from Earthbound. And I really like it because it fits the November theme, my feelings for the month. Okay, so let's do a little book haul. Not a book haul. Let's do a little book bag tour today. I am a hoe for these videos, especially back when I was younger. So I'm gonna do it because I'm living my YouTuber dreams. Okay, so I brought Homebody by Rupi Kaur, and I haven't finished this, but oh my gosh, like her poetry hits so deep. Like, poetry in itself is something I would never really do just because I just don't resonate with it when I actually try to make it. But when I read other people's poems, like, oh my god, it reminds you how beautiful and deep words can be if you structure it in a way that's like making music, you know? Okay, so I'm gonna read that. I brought my journal, and I brought my journal that says "It Always Seems Impossible Until It's Done" by Nelson Mandela. And then look, I put a sticker on the back but this is my new journal, and I'm honestly every time I hold it, I feel so like comforted by it. And I already wrote a little bit of things, and I just like put a bunch of random stickers. This is my thing. I'll just put a bunch of stickers on my journals as like a memory keeper. So I brought that so I can write a bit. And then I brought some cookies, some gluten-free cookies, my sunglasses that I haven't worn because the day just looks so beautiful, so I'm gonna put it here. And then in this pouch, this is my favorite book pouch I have ever had in my life. This is from Etsy. It's from a handmade seller. She's a woman who makes book pouches, and like they're just so convenient, so beautiful, and I just love her material. So I'll post her Etsy shop down below, but I put Women Who Run with the Wolves. And also this book pouch, I love it because it can fit so many things. I can fit my iPad in here, can fit like a book like this, or like my 3 books. If I had 3 journals of these, I can fit in here. Best thing ever. Like the best purchase I've ever made in my entire life. And it has like a second pouch. So yeah, I put it in here so it just doesn't get ruined. I don't take care of my books like pretty often, just because I kind of like how it looks over time. Like it feels like it's been used, because it has like some history, some age into it, you know. But that is all that's in my bag. Oh, and I have some hauls. But I'm gonna go to Barnes & Noble, and then I'm gonna go with Joe to hang out with him. And I'm just gonna hang out with my mans because I love him, and every opportunity I have to hang out with him, I will. So I'm gonna go right now. The horchata I got tastes like Hubba Bubba bubble gum. Random note, but it was nice. And then these cookies taste like Chips Ahoy, but healthy. Hello, so it is Sunday, November 13, and this is going to be an interesting part of this vlog because obviously in the last clip that you saw, I was just very ecstatic, very happy, and like living very well, and things kind of changed throughout the day, and I wanted to talk about this experience and story I'm about to say, because I don't want to paint my vlogs and my life as this perfect way, this perfect lifestyle. And I do want to show the shortcomings that I have and just basically what goes behind the scenes. Obviously, I'm not going to go into full detail with the situation, but I will give like a general rundown for you guys to understand. But basically, after I finished my smoke session in the vlog, like a clip or two ago, I got a call from my boyfriend saying that he would be on my side of the town, and he asked if I wanted to spend some time with him to do these errands, and I'm thinking like, okay, why not? It's just gonna be for a little bit. And so I ended up, long story short, going to his house, and then I ended up sleeping in. I took like a nap until 10 p.m. even though I said I wanted to be back to my car in my area at 9 p.m. So I felt this immediate sense of disappointment in myself, and I told myself like I should have set an alarm, I should have been more prepared. Obviously I had expectations for 11/11. I had expectations to go about it in a way that would benefit me and help me manifest. I really wanted to set myself up for success for the day, and I just felt like the fact that I willingly chose to hang out with my boyfriend, even though I knew that I was feeling disappointed that I had expectations for myself to go about the day a certain type of way, and now like all of it was wasted and all of it is gone just because I took a nap and I fed into this sense of comfort. And I've had this feeling before, and it was very difficult for me to point my energy. I felt disappointed in myself. I wanted to be upset at my boyfriend, but obviously logically I know that being upset at him was not the right way to go, but I just had so much emotion because I had this sense of expectation for myself. And so in this part of the story, I did want to point out that this is where things can go wrong with your mindset, especially if you have certain expectations, because if you're so set on an outcome for your day or from your actions, you are going to create this type of standard that you're trying to reach, and if you don't reach it, you can't help but feel upset at yourself, and it's just gonna go sour. The probability of that actually happening, it can be high, but it's also the probability of it not happening the way you want it to go, if that makes sense. So I was having like a lot of anxiety, and I just could not get out of my mind about the situation because I just felt deeply so disappointed in myself. And looking back at it now, honestly, my life is still gonna be good. I'm totally fine. And if I had to go back in the past and pep talk myself, I would tell her, like, manifesting on 11/11 does not matter. You can manifest whenever you want, whenever you feel like it. It doesn't have to be on this day. I feel like a lot of people just take in 11/11 as a strong numerology, and it's creating like this sense of, oh, like if I don't do it today, then I don't have any other day. And I mean, some people may interpret it like that, but others probably just see it as an opportunity. But for me, I think my mindset was, I have to do this today or else. And that is where things went wrong, because when my boyfriend dropped me back home to my car, or to like my area, I just had so much anxiety. My hands were clenched. I was shaking, not only because I was cold, but I just didn't know how to redirect my energy. I didn't want to speak my mind, and I was just so pent up. And it definitely took a toll on me mentally, because of course I have these negative thoughts and these emotions in my body, so it's just gonna feed on each other after one another. I know that when it comes to a relationship, a lot of boundaries and a lot of feelings can get really mixed up. And I am a victim of that, because I feel like in the moments of extreme anxiety, my ego looks for a sense of comfort from my partner, because personally, my partner is amazing at self-reassurance. My partner is amazing at reassurance. He is a Gemini, and he can just vocalize things perfectly. He can articulate things in a way that will make sense, but also bring a sense of comfort to me. And my ego was like drastically wanting him to say something specific, but in reality, I was focusing on what he could provide for me to fix myself, when I could just look inward and help myself by using the tools I know to get out of the mindset. And this is where things can get pretty tricky, especially when you're someone who does have a problem with overthinking, anxiety, depression, or regressing too much about past memories. Like, I understand, because I am an emotionally emotional. I'm a very emotional person, and especially in the space with my partner, it can be very difficult for me to feel confident and have the courage to stand up for myself when I know someone else can do it for me. And it's been something that's an ongoing process. I'm not perfect. There are multiple times these situations have occurred, but it hasn't happened in a pretty long time, because I had these expectations on 11/11, and the fact that I was in the space of my partner, who my ego will try its best to just find that misery and company kind of ordeal. Because I specifically requested a day off for 11/11, and the fact that it didn't go how I planned, and now I felt like a lot of tension with my boyfriend within the moment, it really took a toll on me. And obviously I'm talking about it now because I am taking the time and awareness to really reflect back on that experience. And I know that experience isn't going to happen again, but there are some elements about it that I know I can fix. And one of those things is just being confident in my ability to reassure myself and to get out of that negative spiral of a mindset. And if you've been in that situation, I promise you, I know how difficult it could be. I personally still feel like I deal with a lot of childhood trauma and a lot of habits that I have yet to figure out and acknowledge, and there's a lot of things that tie into it. But basically, I felt like I had to reface my self-sabotaging habits, and it was extremely difficult for me. And so the next day I went to my boyfriend's house really early. I wanted to make everything up by giving him like a massage, because physical touch is our love language, and I feel like with any situation, physical touch has really helped us get through those rough times, to remind us that, you know, nothing matters besides our love for each other, and we have a future together. So obviously we're gonna work through this, and this is our way of making up. That's how we kind of go about things. But anyway, so I went to his house, and then I was just not feeling it sexually, and I know that he is someone who really is attracted to me, and I'm so thankful. I am so grateful. And obviously in the moment, he always asks me if everything is okay. Everything is consensual, like, I promise you. But it really got to a point where I just wasn't feeling it, but my love for him to make him happy overshadowed the fact that I myself was not happy at the moment. And then because of that, these expectations I had on myself to be a type of way, it weighed heavily on me to the point where I just started crying because I felt like I couldn't provide it. I couldn't provide the feeling, and I couldn't provide the intimacy that I knew that he was longing for. And obviously, I am so thankful that my boyfriend knows me well enough. He's very understanding, and he gave me the reassurance. So I was just feeling extremely upset, and on top of that, I also had this insecurity that came up, and the insecurity was that I felt so deeply that I could not express my passions and hobbies and interests to my boyfriend, because he himself is a very opinionated, strong person with a good head on his shoulders, and there are a lot of things that he has that I want to work my way up to, and so he helps me grow in that sense. But at the same time, I self-sabotage myself by not allowing myself to speak my truth, to speak who I really am and what I love, because out of fear of judgment, because out of fear of being rejected by someone I truly deeply love. And so the reason why I'm bringing this up is because these type of feelings, these type of emotions, this can still come up in a very, very healthy relationship with someone. It doesn't have to be between a toxic relationship. Me, I feel like I am already a very self-aware person, and my biggest downfall is my self-sabotage. So when it does come up in my problems and dilemmas between my partner, it can really take a toll on me. Day, which was Saturday, 11/12, my boyfriend hosted like a UFC fight at his house, and I was not only going through the emotions of a rough morning, but I felt so heavy with just my thoughts and my feelings of things. It was just a bizarre feeling because I really thought I was doing really well throughout the week, and I knew that there was something off, and deep down I knew that I needed to just be isolated. I needed to meditate. I needed to ground myself and be just in my safe space, but I didn't allow myself, and I didn't keep the promise to myself to have just a me day on 11/11. So a lot of things kind of went downhill from 11/11 till now. I mean, it's Sunday now, but yeah, also on Saturday I felt so bad because I parked in front of the trash cans, and then the trash wasn't picked up from the trash man. So I felt bad about that, and I also felt bad that I dropped a literal there's a part of the day on Saturday when I was getting Wingstop for the guest, and I had a bag of Wingstop. There was 2 bags, and one of the bags I had the fries, the veggie sticks, the sauces, and everything. And so I was holding it, and all of a sudden it just fell through the bag and just landed on the sidewalk. All the fries, all the sides. I mean, we were able to save a few, and there was still some sauces that we could still use. But in that moment, I just knew that I was being tested. I just knew that this situation was a test for me to see how I would react. So I took a deep breath, and not only did I feel a sense of disappointment in myself, but I also felt a sense of forgiveness, and that it is what it is. I think the one lesson I'm learning in the past 3 days is that when certain situations arise, I cannot have an emotionally charged attachment to those situations, and I have to let them go, because the more I stick into my brain how bad of a situation something is, the more I feel attached to it and the more like I hold it into my body. And don't get me wrong, I feel like I've had this lesson shown to me in the past, but this time it was just a lot more prominent because with the situations I had with my partner, my expectations for myself, and then like dropping the food, I told myself things happen. And once they happen, you can't go back and change it. You can't go back and fix things from the very beginning. You can't time travel. And the only way for you to go about it is to change your mindset, to look at the positive. I mean, I don't want it to sound like it's a toxic positive thing to do, but I'm saying like you want to see it as what am I learning from this situation? What is the world or the universe or God? What are they trying to teach me right now? And in that moment, I was taught the lesson of detachment. I was taught the lesson of detachment, most especially with my negative feelings and thoughts to something. And I felt like I was going through it rough. And this morning it was funny because I was telling myself like I've been having a rough 3 days. But you know what? I'm not going to tell myself I've had a rough 3 days. I'm not going to tell myself I had a rough 3 days. I'm going to tell myself that in the last few days, it's been challenging, but I have a lot to learn from it. I wanted to change the narrative. I wanted to change the outlook on my situations because I did not want to carry that on with me in the next week. I do not have space in my heart and my body to think about these situations and make myself feel really shitty or bad just because things didn't go out the way I planned them to. And so it was a very humbling experience, and I hope that this story gives you guys more perspective on your own circumstances, especially when things don't really go your way. And it's been a while since I've had a challenge like this kind of feeling of, wow, things do not feel like they're looking up. I haven't had one of these little phases of my life in a minute. And so the fact that it happened, I can look back and say that I'm grateful. I learned my lesson. I can forgive myself. I can use this to transform into something better. I can use this experience to find new tools. I can find new ways to go about these self-sabotaging thoughts because obviously it has shown itself, and now it's time to change it, transform it, and to move forward. So I went to the gym today because I just felt like a lot of it was just pent up in my body, and I just used the opportunity to think of my situations and my problems, and I used it to lift my weights. I used it to sweat, and obviously now, kinetically, physically, I feel lighter. I feel better. I feel like I let everything out the way I've been needing to. I just really wanted to share this side of my experience. And so this month of November, I feel like I've been learning so much. And I have felt as if a lot of transformations have come my way, and I still feel like there's so many things coming my way because of this challenge I've had in the last few days in my relationship within myself. In the last few days, my relationship with myself and my boyfriend and just my outlook on the world, it has leveled itself up, and it feels like I am having thicker skin to endure and experience other challenges. And I just know that when things get rough, things can only go up and things will get better, and it will make you a stronger person. So that is basically how my 11/11 went afterward. I'm still grateful for everything I've done that day. Even if I had a quarrel with my lover, at the end of the day, I am loved, I am grateful, I am secure, I have a home, I have running water. I can see all the foundational stuff that I have to live this lifestyle and still be grateful and accept my situations for the way they are. And so having this mindset, I know, is only going to project me into bigger and better things. So I know this is just a stepping stone, and yeah, I just wanted to share this. I hope you guys learned something from it, and I definitely, like I said, did not want to portray like my vlogs as rainbows and sunshines. Like, I need to talk about the real stuff too, okay? Because the real life stuff is rough. But at the end of the day, it calls for a good story, right? So I'm gonna end the vlog here. I'm going to just enjoy the rest of my Sunday and read and tidy up my room. But yes, I hope you guys enjoy this vlog, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!